I was caught up in something. I was caught up in this ideal that it was not cool to be smart. So these were obstacles that were placed in my life. Knowledge was an obstacle. When I went to school, it was, look, I'll be honest with y'all. When I went to school, so I went to a majority black school from a majority white elementary. In school, when I was there, they would say, you acting white. Now, what does that mean? They told me if you were turning in your work on time, speaking a certain way, getting high grades, 3.9, 4.0, you acting white. And I'm like, what does that mean? Now I want to do a little digging because I didn't know. Because here's what happens: if somebody tells you that you're something different, or what you're doing that's positive is a negative, like for my guys out there, if you respect ladies and you respect people, somebody might call you a punk, and you don't realize that what they're really telling you is their own inconsistency, their own lack of confidence, something that they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Because like, check it out: the lady who called us the N-word, spat on us, she was able to do that because that's what she had inside. You can only give somebody what you have. If I said, yo, give me $5, he ain't got it. He can't give it to me, right? You can't. You don't have it with you, you can't give it. So that's the same thing in the spiritual realm. She gave us what she had, and that was hate. So when people said that we were acting white or acting a certain way, it's because in themselves, they didn't really believe that they were intelligent and they were smart. But I do digging. Because I'm a historian, and I didn't know at the time I was going to be an historian, but I do some research, right? And I find out that when my people were enslaved, getting an education meant that you could actually be killed. Oh, that would make sense. It was illegal to teach enslaved people to learn to read and write. It was illegal. So check it out. If you were a white person during this time, and you were like, that's dumb. We shouldn't treat people like that. And there were a lot of people who thought like that, like John Brown, like Harry Beecher Stowe, William Lloyd Garrison. If you taught an enslaved person how to read, you could go to jail, you could get fined, you could possibly be beaten to death. If you were a black person who was enslaved and you were caught reading without permission, you can get whipped or killed on the spot. Now, why is that? Some of y'all have internalized that too. Not the same way I have, but some of y'all think it ain't cool to be smart, ain't cool to go to school, ain't cool to get your grades up. There's a reason why they didn't want Frederick Douglass to learn how to read and other enslaved people, because they knew once you figured it out, boom, you unlock the code. Now you can take the blindfold off and you can see the exit sign. You can see how to escape. And you can see how to make life better for everybody in your community. Yo, Frederick Douglass. This dude was so smart. Like, he didn't know how to read or write growing up, but he was so smart. Guess what he did? When he was enslaved, he knew that the slave owners' kids knew how to read and write. So what did he do? He would trick them. He's like, man, I want to learn how to read this book, so what can I do? Okay, reverse psychology. He would go up to him like, you ain't that smart. Bet you can't read this. I bet you can't teach me how to read this. I bet you don't know what that word means. And us being, especially being guys, we're like, what you mean I can't do that? So you gonna take it, I bet you. Like if I told one of y'all right now, I bet you can't touch the ceiling, half of y'all will jump up right now and try to prove me wrong. Because I would too. Let me see. So he learned how to read that way. Now here's the other thing, y'all. Notice what Luke did too. Luke knew he wasn't supposed to be in the dark. So what did he do immediately? He took it off. See, here's the thing too that messes up a lot of people. Just because you don't know how to read and write fluently or read and write on the level people expect you to be at does not mean you're not intelligent. Does that make sense? Okay, hold on for a second. Let me break it down for you. Being athletic is different than being skilled at something. Some basketball players didn't start hooping until they were like 17 years old. They had the athletic ability, they had the potential, they knew they could be great. What did they do later? They learned the skill. Think of somebody like Tim Duncan, one of the most boring players ever, but he had great skill. Centers like Hakeem Olajuwon, I grew up watching, he didn't start playing ball until he was about 16, but he had the potential, the athletic ability, learned the skill later. What I mean is with your potential, let's say that your parents or your friends or maybe somebody around you saying that you're not doing as good as you can, if you believe that you can actually achieve that one day, then it's possible. It's past possible. Frederick Douglass didn't grow up learning how to read and write, but he knew he could reach a certain level. And if you read any of his books, any of his speeches, that dude sounds like he got a PhD. Harriet Tubman just had a movie come out about her. She could not read or write. But what did Harriet Tubman know? I ain't no slave. I don't care what you say. She was buried, dead, never knew how to read or write. They had to write a book about her. She didn't write her book, but what did she do? She freed thousands of slaves. She was a Civil War veteran. She helped the Union win. Died at like 90-something years old because she had the idea, the potential, the athletic ability, the wherewithal to know I ain't supposed to be in the dark. So again, y'all, what are the obstacles in your life? As I began to search, I began to find like, look, I can't take it personal. They giving me what they have. They feel a certain way about their education, not me. I get it because if you were a lighter-skinned slave, or if you were what they call a house slave, you would get certain privileges in that house, living with your slave owner. So they would say back then during slavery, oh, you acting white. And what did it mean back then? Because they granted you the privilege to learn how to read and write. So that's to them, you're acting white. Well, that's something I had to unlearn because that ain't true. I'm just trying to reach my highest potential right here and right now in this country. But even still, when you come across these obstacles, you have to understand that, some people are going to view you differently regardless.
So I'm Steve Murray, Director of Counseling at Notre Dame College Prep. We just heard Ernest Krim deliver an enthusiastic, powerful message about hope for our youth. He delivered it in an entertaining and really provocative manner in which he related to each and every one of our students, the 250 students that were here to listen to him. I've never heard never seen our 250 students as engaged and hanging on each word that he delivered. The message was one of hope, that they can make a difference, that life is filled with challenges, and it's how they react to those challenges that's the measure of who they are as individuals. He challenged each student in the audience to reflect on themselves, who they are, and what they want to become. It was a powerful message. It was delivered exceptionally well. And if you're looking for a speaker, I encourage you to consider Ernest because he is absolutely a delight to work with, and he's very easy, and it's a great presentation.